Hi everybody, welcome to another Vlogmas. I brought you in to the office today to talk through something that I thought could be somewhat interesting, hopefully might be a little bit inspiring this time of year. This is obviously the time when we're all kind of winding down for Christmas, thinking about the year that we've had and also thinking about the next year. It's something I often do at the start of the year, in honesty. I go through what I want from the next year. But the thing that I don't do often enough, that I think I need to do, is I don't often go back over previous goals and previous ideas I've set out for the year to see what I've accomplished, what I haven't, maybe what I failed at, almost to like assess it a little bit. So I thought today I'd go through what I wrote down as my goals, my wishes, my things on my wish list this year and talk about what I succeeded in, what I failed in, and just to have a little bit of a yap about it. Today's drink of choice is the final remnants of a ginger lemon honey tonic that Alex made. Alex isn't feeling very well. He made this for me a couple of weeks ago when I wasn't feeling very well, but it's just a really good pick-me-up drink. It's just full of ginger, full of lemon. It's really delicious. This is just what I need. When I put together a bit of a goals list, I also like to put together a goals mood board, like a manifesting mood board, and then I have this on my phone throughout the year. So I still, in fact, the one I'm about to show you, I literally have right here on my phone. It's literally the one that's top of my manifesting mood board. And so it'd be kind of nice to go through it. First up on this list was a girls' ski trip. I ended up going away in April with Sarah and her boyfriend Lyle, me and Alex. We went to this incredible chalet. We had such a brilliant time. It was awesome. So yeah, I'm taking that off the list. I would have loved to have gotten another ski trip in at the end of this year, but I'm hoping to go next year. So tick. The next one, that is a picture of Antelope Canyon in Utah. As a lot of you guys know, this was a trip that we did end up taking in April. I took my dad and my stepmom, as well as my brother and his girlfriend, away to Utah, Arizona and Nevada, and we did this incredible family road trip, 2 weeks in a huge van, and we just drove from hotel to motel to cabins in the woods, and it was honestly like the best. It was a trip of a lifetime, a real trip of a lifetime. I'd saved for it for quite a while. Last Christmas we presented the family with this box and we had a whole thing where we were like, we're taking you away on this trip. And that trip was then in May, so it is just come and gone. It was absolutely amazing. If you're thinking of planning something like that as a family trip, I would so recommend it. It was the trip of a lifetime. So we did end up visiting Antelope Canyon, so tick. The third one on my list here. So this is a Birkin. A burgundy Birkin. I'd been on TikTok, I'd seen this really beautiful girl with unpacking this burgundy Birkin. I'd never really seen one before and was like, ooh, that's definitely the colour for me. So I put it down on my wish list. In complete truth, like, I love Hermes as a brand. I actually love Hermes Beauty. I think it's a really brilliant brand. And for the most part, Hermes is a really gorgeous brand. I think I've said it before, but the whole process of having to buy them in this backward way that's very much based off of how much you spend, how you look, or how someone perceives you, I just find the whole thing quite icky and a little bit unfair. I think if someone just wants to buy something, let them buy it. In complete truth, that's no longer on my wish list. I think I just have brands that I personally prefer. There are, some people collect Hermes and that's amazing. I just don't really think it's very much my kind of brand anymore. It doesn't really go with me and how I like to dress that much. Like, I still love my Birkin 35, but I just don't really wear it. So actually that is off of my wish list and it's not something I'm that upset about. Don't get me wrong, if it ever came along and I could buy a burgundy one, wait, would I? Actually, I don't know if I would. Oh, I don't know. But it's not something I'm that fussed about. The next picture is a picture of a girl on a boat looking fabulous. This was all part of this idea that I really wanted to go away with friends. Boat trip. It was kind of all based around Susie's hen party. We actually never end up going on the boat trip in the end. It is quite expensive to rent a boat as a group. And actually we realised that in the itinerary of everything we were doing, it wouldn't really fit in the way we wanted it to, so that didn't end up happening. However, I did end up going away with Cordaly earlier on in the year with Susie, and we did go on a boat then, so I kind of feel like I lived out that dream and that manifestation there, wearing a cute little bikini, really feeling great about myself. It was kind of right at the start of my fitness journey. I was feeling really good, quite body confident. And so I kind of feel like that was ticked. So in the middle, this is like the dream closet. This is very similar to the sort of, well, actually it's not really now, but somewhat the aesthetics of what I'm thinking of going for. Something very clean, chic, minimal, very wood-based. As you guys might know, my closet conversion got pushed back, hopefully until January, so we should be starting that in January. But the idea was to get that closet finished this year, have a whole new space to not only house my clothes, but also to film in. Like, I film so many vlogs, Instagrams, Reels, TikToks, everything in that room, and so I wanted it to be brand new. And sadly it couldn't be, but next year, so that's now 2025. But it's in the works, it's technically in the works, so at least the works were sorted within 2024. The next one is just this girl with absolutely beautiful plumped up skin. That was just very much about me on a skincare journey, wanting to kind of really take care of my skin and get it looking its absolute best this year. And I think for the most part, I've very much done that. I found some incredible products this year that I absolutely love and I've been showing you guys. Like a couple of brands I've worked with this year, Clé de Peau of course, Caudalie, Omorovitza, Allies of Skin, Lumine, definitely those 5 specifically. And I've just found some gems for my skin, absolute gems. Plus I've been using my Current Body LEDs and the Zip, and I really love my skincare. And I love looking after my skin. I'm quite thorough about it. I feel like for the most part, I'm in a good place. I've learnt now what does and doesn't work for me. Flashbacks to the eye issues very much springs to mind. But yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well on that one. This was just a girl that I found on Pinterest. I'm sure she's probably an amazing influencer if any of you know her. Please do leave her linked. I just loved this outfit. As soon as I saw this outfit on Pinterest, it very much just inspired me immediately. I just love the vibe. I pretty much have that blazer. Sorry, I'm literally looking at it on the computer. But I can kind of recreate this with hats and shorts and whatnot. And I just loved the vibe. It just felt very carefree and very cool. It just sort of said to me how I wanted to dress at the start of the year. It's not so much me. I mean, it is still me now. I mean, going into winter, like, that looks freezing. But overall, I feel like I've really found my style again this year. I feel like last year I did too. I think the last few years I've really found a style that I love and really works for me, so that's great. I finally feel at 35 I've found myself, which is wonderful. But yeah, I'll always be like honing it and changing it up, but for the most part I feel really good actually about all the pieces that I'm owning. And in complete truth now, I've been feeling some things when it comes to fashion. I think there's just been a few shifts in my mindset personally around buying fashion and too much of it. And I mean, it's a catch-22 for me because obviously what I do, it's all about inspiring your potential style and choices. Within that, I do buy an excessive amount compared to what the average person should buy. But I hope that that kind of makes sense due to the job that I have. You guys know I like to outfit repeat. I often outfit repeat a lot online because my style now is very much about these pieces that I can wear year on year because they're timeless and they're classic. Like my beautiful black coat that I've got that I wear constantly, and I bought it a couple of years ago. Like things like that are just continuous timeless pieces in my wardrobe. But still, I've had this feeling recently that I want to cut back even more so. I don't know if that makes any sense. I just feel a bit differently about that. Let's just say I'm confused currently and I'm thinking I can do better. I want to cut back more. I want to buy less. And thus, I'm going to continue trying. Anyway, moving on. This necklace is a beautiful Bulgari serpentine necklace. It's the dream. I used to be an ambassador for Bulgari. I'm not anymore. But I'm still the biggest Bulgari fan. I wear my Bulgari pieces all the time. Have done for years and years and years, which I think is why a lot of people still think I'm a Bulgari ambassador. I'm just loyal to the brands that I've worked with and that I actually really love. But this necklace has long been on my wish list, at the top of my wish list of pieces that I would love to personally own. But however, I didn't buy that this year. It is expensive, it's a big purchase, and yet, however, there was another piece on my list that I really wanted this year, which you guys saw that I bought, the Cartier watch. And it kind of came down to, if I'm going to buy myself a special piece for the year, do I want a necklace or do I want a new watch? And I wear my watches every single day. Huge fan of watches. And so the Cartier watch was something that I felt was a little bit more essential for my wardrobe, would be used much more. So I went for the Cartier watch. So technically, in terms of this manifestation board, this didn't manifest, but the watch did. And I'm actually really, really happy with that. And then the last thing here, this is a Pilates reformer. Yeah, again, it was the start of the year and I just wanted to throw myself into exercise and into reformer lessons, which I did. And so that's probably one of my biggest successes of the whole year, is that I got into reformer. Love it so much. Like, I'm actually thinking that I might potentially I'd love to get training in it and to maybe get a qualification as a teacher, because I just absolutely love it. I find it so therapeutic, but equally it is such a hard and challenging machine that it can just change you in the most fantastic ways. It's also incredible for rehabilitation. Like, I'm trying to get my mum to start doing some reformer classes because I think it'd be so good. I think it would be so good for her back. So that is definitely something that I'm very much committed to. Like 5 days a week for this entire year is a good commitment, and I'm pretty happy with that. So that was my manifestation board, of which I will continue making these year on year. If you do want to know how I make those manifestation boards, I've got a whole blog post on it. I'll link it so you can go and have a little peek at that. However, I did also write down lots of goals for this year. And again, I break them down into a few different categories. I've got a whole blog post on this because I feel like just having goals for the year is lovely, it's fine, but as someone who's quite thorough in their thinking processes, when it comes to things like this, I broke it down into a few more categories. So I had goals, wishes, 5-year goals, things to do, habits to learn, habits to dismiss, and then things to look forward to. I just want to whiz through a few more of those whilst we're on a roll here. So, yes, I'm being very open with some of this, because a lot of this I haven't even spoken to you about before. One of them, find real balance between work and fun. Yeah, and you know what? I feel like I've really succeeded with that. I really do. Especially after Alex became so much better and well this year. Things have just gone from better to better. And I really feel like we've had such a better balance. We've had actual proper holidays together. Like, we went to Santorini and had the most intimate, romantic, incredible holiday together. It was honestly one of our favourites. We've done some wonderful trips. I've done some great trips. Obviously, I had like all the weddings, I had hen dos. There's been a lot of fun this year and a lot of really happy, amazing times. It's been my favourite year yet. My 35th year. Well, 34th, 35th. So I feel like that is definitely a tick. In fact, I'm going to tick it because it's got a tick box on it. Okay, another key goal was to connect this year with 2 brands that I haven't yet. I definitely feel I've done that. I just worked on that Tiffany campaign that I think I mentioned last week. That, for one, was an absolute dream come true, to work with Tiffany jewellery. And so that, I feel, is a huge, amazing career moment, and I'm absolutely over the moon. And I think another one actually might be Victoria's Secret for me, because that was huge. Like, going to the Victoria's Secret show was better than I can even explain. The amount of people that have asked me personally about that trip, like, how was it? And I'm just like, it was better than you can imagine. Like, there was no smoke and mirrors with that whole trip. It was just perfect from start to finish. Definitely connected this year with brands that I haven't before, and I'm so thankful of that. Another one was to grow relationships with some other brands that I really adore, and that I've definitely done as well and worked so much more with. So again, tick. You know, I'm going to tick them off because that's a nice little dopamine rush. Okay, one other one that I was hoping for was to hit 1 million subscribers across platforms. It's a big one and it's a big ask. I was hoping to really push myself to get there. And you know what? I really have for the most part. But you can only grow the followers that want to follow at the end of the day. And there are so many creators now. There are so many people doing very similar things. It's all about who everyone relates to. And that's totally cool. You know, it's not the space that it once was, where there's less people. People were a little bit different, so there was a little less choice. So you kind of could relate to people, I guess, a little easier. Whereas now there's so much noise, it's kind of hard to know who to follow and why. And you know what? So it's not for want of trying to grow my platform, but equally, I've just really enjoyed nurturing the followers that I have this year. Like, I've now got my Only for Victorians channel on my Instagram. People can just join, and then I send personal little messages now and again. And that's got such a wonderful little community on there. So I'm super happy with that. My YouTube is still my favourite place to be because you guys are such a community. So it just feels really lovely. So, and at the end of the day, I have grown. I have grown hugely on each channel. My TikTok, for example, I'm at nearly 844, which is huge. I think I started the year around, I don't know, maybe 600k. So My YouTube is on 986 currently. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Then on to my wishes list. Key goals within 5 years. Have I made a dent on any of these? The one thing I can say is on here within the key goals within 5 years was holidaying properly 3 times a year, which is the dream. I think I've almost done that. Like the ski trip was definitely a holiday. Utah was definitely a holiday. Santorini was a holiday. I'm pretty sure I've had at least 3 really fantastic bits of time off this year. So do you know what? I'm going to give that a tick. Ding! Okay, next up, things I need to do. Organise the house fully with a new closet and office. The office is complete, so the office is great. So that's one thing. The new closet's on the way, so that's technically right. And I've also done a lot around the house, actually. I've pretty much got the rest of the house finished. So I'm going to give that a tick. Next one was clear out some items and downsize. I've definitely done that. I've done that hugely, actually, and I've kept up with it. Tick. Sort out my gut and general health. That is a tick. If you guys watched my Q&A the other day, I talked about this quite a bit and about finding out what did and didn't work for me this year and really kind of trying to find out what was upsetting my gut and health. And I think I've pretty much cracked it, and I'm absolutely over the moon because it was driving me mad. So tick. And another one that was on here was to find a therapist. Do you know, it's the one thing I actually haven't done because I felt so good this year. Like ever since Alex managed to find some help, things kind of fell into place for me too, and I feel really, really good. However, I was having a chat the other day with Susie, and she was like, I really think it would be good for you to speak to a therapist about a few things that are probably like demons that I do deal with. So yeah, maybe that is something that I could do with doing. I will get on to doing that. Moving on to the next thing. Habits to learn and to keep. I have quite a lot in here. Let's see how I've done. Text friends back immediately. For the most part, I'm pretty good at that. Actually, it depends what friends you ask. Okay, I try at least to get back to people. There are times when I'm feeling a little bit more, I've got more headspace, and I go back to everyone in bulk, quite often with voice notes, because I feel I can get everything out. It's almost like the sitting there and the typing that it almost makes me like, oh, I can't stand sitting here, like blah, blah, blah. That's why I send voice notes to people. It's my way of getting back to them in the way that I can mentally stomach, I think. But I definitely have tried to get back to people as fast as possible. Next one, find enjoyment and relaxation in cooking. Okay, yeah, I'd say I'm going to tick that because actually I used to hate cooking. I used to feel like if I was cooking then I wasn't working, and I found it, I'd be like, I'm not being productive by cooking. And so I wanted to change that mindset, and I think I actually have, so I think that's good. Blocking and removing negativity from my life. Yeah, I mean, I'm very good at that. If there's anyone online who says anything negative that isn't just criticism, it's often a comment where I can tell they're either quite a negative, nasty person anyway to be able to leave a comment like that on a stranger's post, and I don't really want them around my socials anymore, so I'll just block them. Sometimes it's just a weird troll comment from someone that doesn't even follow me, has been served my post, they don't know who I am, and so they write like a weird, often very unusual, gross comment. Quite often it's males that do that. I'll just block just in case, so I don't ever get pushed to them ever again. So yeah, so I have, for the most part actually, I have blocked and removed negativity from my life. Like, I'm very lucky with the friends that I have. I have some amazing friends. I kind of only keep people in my circles who are very positive and who don't cause me any changes to my mindset. If you have someone in your life that is making you feel anything but positive, then they're not someone to keep around. So I've very much worked on that over the years, and I only now have people in my space who are the light of my life. So tick. Healthier sleep patterns and earlier nights. Definitely have worked on this. I have much healthier sleep patterns now, actually. I've done actually really well here. Okay, I've succeeded a bit more than I thought. I'm no longer like looking at my phone. In fact, the next one is no phone 30 minutes before trying to sleep. Alex would say different. Now and again, I'll be on Net-a-Porter shopping, which is hilarious after what I said near the beginning about not shopping as much. I just like to look at it. It's one of my favourite apps, and it keeps me off of social media a bit. But for the most part, I do try and put my phone down at least 30 minutes before I'm going to bed. I go to bed earlier. We often will watch something together, and I'll kind of get myself nice and drowsy and then fall asleep, and it's meant that I have nowhere near as many night terrors anymore, and I sleep so much better. So actually, I think I'm going to give that a tick because that's good. Reading. No. Be ready 30 minutes early. Who was I kidding with that one? Woo! No. Nourishing my body properly. This is something I've learned, again, connected to the last thing. Yeah, I just know now, I've kind of worked out for me the difference between nourishing food and junk, like things that I put in my body that serve nothing and no one apart from stodge. I kind of understand now what my body actually needs for me to run properly, so that's good. There's a cheeky one on here. And I'm gonna tick it. That's going great. Habits to dismiss and lose. Scrolling longer than 10 minutes. I'm still doing that, but I'm trying to get better because I must admit at the moment, I'm just finding the social space quite draining, mentally exhausting, and not that inspiring and not that fulfilling in any way, shape or form. And I know some people would say I'm part of that too, and that's fine, but I used to go to social media to feel inspired for outfits or for travel ideas or for food ideas. Recently, I'm just being served so much on TikTok that's just mind-numbing, and it's nothing. It's not even entertaining. It's just mind sap, and things need to change for me, or else I will only be scrolling for a minute, I think. Habits to dismiss. Buying items similar to things I already own. I did just buy that row blazer and I do have something quite similar, but for the most part I have got a lot better at that, and I am thinking a lot more about not duplicating. Complaining about things I know I can change. Yeah, I've definitely got better at that. Tick. I definitely don't complain as much now, I just get on with it. Then I had a whole thing about trips I wanted to do. January, girls trip to Hampshire, tick. March, ski trip, tick. March, Ibiza trip, tick. February, girls trip to Manchester. Tick. April, American road trip, tick. Oh, that must have been April. May, Susie's hen do, tick. I wanted to go to Costa Rica in June. That didn't happen, but I'm desperate to go to Costa Rica to see Carly, Rowena. So I'm hoping that's going to happen in 2025. July, I went to Cornwall, tick. August with my cousin's hen do. September, New York Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, tick. Weddings in October. Then I meant to go to Antigua in October. I meant to go to Chicago in November, and I meant to go to Antigua in December, if not Costa Rica again. And those three haven't happened, and that's because I just got too busy, things got too manic, and I just couldn't manage it. So I'm going to move those forward to next year. There's also a section on who I want to be this year, and it was kind of ideas about ways to dress, ways to maybe do my makeup, things to do with my appearance. And I think for the most part, I've actually managed that. One of them was I wanted to have darker hair. Tick. Healthier. Tick. Okay, so that's it. Do you know what? Actually, for the most part, when I thought about this video, I thought, I think I've failed at a lot of things this year that I really wanted to do. And some of the bigger ones, yeah, there's a couple of things on here that I've not necessarily gone through that are more life and setting up life for the future, and that hasn't really happened. But I'm really hoping 2025 is the year that I can do that and get moving on some goals. So watch this space, because I'm certainly hope that's the case. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little look through, and hopefully it inspires you to get looking at your own goals list and going through them and seeing what you've done and what you've not. And at the end of the day, if you have failed at a few things or you haven't succeeded in some of the goals you set, it's really not a big deal. Just move them to the next year, or reassess if that actually is still going to serve you in any way. For me, the burgundy Birkin, I'm just going to take that completely off the list because I actually just don't care anymore. And a few of the things I'm not that bothered about, which I suppose is good, and it shows that maybe they aren't goals in the first place if now you're not that bothered about them anyway. There's always room to improve. There's always the next year to try and do even more that you're setting out for yourself. At the end of the day, maybe it's just not the right year for you to have done that thing. So yeah, there's lots more time to do extra. So just don't be disheartened. I'm not disheartened anyway, actually, after do this. I'm just feeling like, do you know what? I'm excited now for next year because there's a lot I want to do. And there's a lot of things extra I could do. So let's see this as a positive. Let's move forward together. Thanks for being here, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for the next video, and